I'm not very sure if this is really discussed thoroughly in the nursing education. As far as my medical education is concerned, way back in the 80s, when I had my medical school education, we never talked so much about abuse. But now, abuse in general is really a global problem. There is such thing as child abuse, domestic abuse, even elderly abuse.
Yeah, the one recently, but not so much yet in the country, in the Philippines, is elderly abuse. There are lots of cases that I have heard, but up to now, I think even the law is still being studied as to how to implement the law.
Yeah, and in the United States, Ma'am Judith and Ma'am Dean Ramos, if you are a nurse and you find a child who you suspect as being abused or an elderly being abused, it is your legal responsibility to report it. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. I don't know if that is being done here in the nursing profession in the Philippines, but in the US, as a registered nurse, because you are the frontliner, we are the frontliners, and if we suspect in the emergency room that a child or an elderly has been abused, then it is our responsibility to report it to the protective services.
DSWD.
Yeah, here maybe through the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Now, and also I would warn our nurses, because nurses can also be very, very, very abusive to patients. Just to remind the nurses that we should not abuse our profession.
Yes.
We should not be mean to our clients, our patients, because in the long run, you know, as you abuse your clients or your patients, you will be held liable for those actions. So abuse really is a global problem, as I've said, and it should, you know, we should understand the limits of our actions. The moment we go beyond what is acceptable and allowable, then that is already abuse. So whether it's physical, verbal, and you know what? Even in the workplace, there is such thing as workplace abuse. In school, there is also, you know, abuse in the school. See, so in other words, abuse is happening everywhere, and I think Father Ewart was very right highlighting abuse in a book. Although the title is quite intriguing, Soul Rape, Recovering Personhood After Abuse, because there is hope after abuse. In fact, I will just read what I wrote in the preface of the book, and it says, after the jolting ride of reading Dr. Heyward B. Ewart's book, one thing that comes to mind is that hope remains despite the most despicable forms of abuse. This hope lies in the recognition of a loving God who continues to cause even the most wounded hearts to continue beating. To me, as a physician, the miraculous and beautiful human heart is evidence of God's own existence. A throbbing heart is a ready reminder of God. Soul rape is an eye-opener for everybody who hates human suffering. It clearly demonstrates that mental illness is usually the result of being sinned against. We need to stop this cycle of abuse, which is occurring not just often, but virtually all the time, all around the world. The first step is to master the insights of this invaluable book, which is destined to change the face of psychology and theology permanently. And I wrote that as part of the preface of the book. That's like a summary of
Well
what
said, well written.
of what this. But there's really more to it.
Yeah,
In fact, there are even guidelines for school administrator how to detect a student that can be abusive.
Mhm.
You know, for law enforcers, they can use this book.
Yes.
For families, you know,
Ganda.
yeah. So it's a very beautiful book. I would call this the Bible about abuse. So get hold of a copy of this book. This is available online through Amazon.com. But since I have been given complimentary copies by the publisher and the editor-in-chief, I think the editorial staff, Mr. Volkman, I am giving copies to my close friends and associates, including you, Ma'am Judith, and I will sign this book on behalf of Father Ewart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Para kay ma'am.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Hindi, mayroon na.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is for you.
Hihingi ko
Yeah.
pala
Ito kay ma'am.
hihingi ko si Bang.
Ito ma'am galing kay Mrs.
Yeah, yeah. Let this to our
Kay ma'am.
dear
Galing kay Mrs. naman.
Oo. Wala ako
friend.
yan. Mahingi ako. Mayroon ba dito?
Ma'am,
Jean.
ito.
Ay, oo. Chickens. Wala pa ko.
Jean Judith.
So,
To God be the glory.
galing. Hingi din ako.
So I will sign here for Father, in behalf of Father
Father
Ewart,
Ewart.
here on top of my name. Okay, Merry Christmas.
Galing